What's up, YouTube? Homegrown Big coming at you. For some reason, Alexa just thought I was talking to her. I got some broth here with some egg whites dropped in it, so like an egg drop broth. It's made with 3 different meats, beef, pork, and chicken. It's very delicious. Got a little bit of permaculture food forest grown oregano in there. I'm also eating some tartar. This comes from a cow I just bought. It's a half a cow actually. And I wanted to talk about this process. A lot of people ask me where I get my meat from and so on. So I'm going to do some videos about that, this being the first one. So this cow, this purchase of this meat, I got it from a small family farm on the east side of the mountains here, so just up over the pass. They are a couple that does sustainable agriculture. They raise cows, pigs, sheep. They also grow potatoes. All of their animals are pastured up in the foothills of the mountains, 100% pastured. They also have their own butcher processing, which is very rare. Most farmers, even small farmers, send their cows off to be processed somewhere else. So they do farm to your house, 100%. And this is pretty important because, one, they raise their animals and they kill their animals. It's a full life cycle there. And they only hang the animals for a week. So a lot of times when animals go off to be processed, they can be hanging for a few weeks, up to a month, I've heard. Which for steak, if you're dry aging, is okay. But this is not dry aging. This is just stuff sitting around. So they hang their cows for a week. They keep all of the stuff. They send everything from the cow, so nothing's wasted. I got organs, I got bones, I got blood saved, all of this stuff. And they package it up right there. They package it in paper, freezer paper, so it's not vacuum sealed, which is really a horrible use of single-use plastic, in my opinion. And they deliver it to your door. So it cost me $5.95 a hanging pound, which is actually a pretty decent price if you look at some of the cost of like ribeye in the store and stuff like that. It's like, could be up around here for grass-fed. Ribeye could be as much as 25 to 30 bucks a pound. I'm not even joking. So buying in this way, farmer direct, you know your farmer. It's one process. It's grown on a sustainable farm, raised on a sustainable farm, and you have small farmers who are invested in their cattle and their herds. They keep only about 100 cattle a season, which for a ranching operation is pretty small, but that also means that they're not stressing the environment. They raise more pigs and sheep than that because pigs and sheep can be fed other things, and I'm sure they feed their pigs a lot of their potatoes that they grow that they don't sell, and so on. It has been a real pleasure to get to know these farmers. You know, Brent came out here and looked at the permaculture setup and thought it was super cool, and just building a relationship and knowing where my food comes from. The other side of that is that the food is high quality, high nutrients, and I can eat it raw without any concerns for pathogens. Now, do I eat all of my meat raw? No. I do notice that raw meat digests really easily. I kind of started experimenting with it. I don't think it's for everyone. I just wanted to have the experiences for myself, to have my own experiential learning. What I've discovered about eating raw meat is that I had no idea that I had a taste for it. So when I was a kid, my mom used to feed me raw hamburger while she cooked. and I loved it as a kid. But that memory kind of fell away from me as, you know, industrial food took over, and just, we raised our own cows when I was a kid, so, you know, it was our own thing. Hi, kitten. And returning back to it, I realized like how much I loved it, and it was just interesting that my mom ate that. She fed it to all of us kids, and it was just kind of a tradition. And curiously enough, I'm getting off on a tangent, but I'll come back around to this. I went to a doctor when I was younger. I'd had a bike wreck, and she took some x-rays, and the first thing she asked me without any provocation was, "Were you raised on a farm?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "You and every other person I've ever met who's raised on a farm have completely different bodies than people who are raised in cities." She said, "Your bone structure and your connective tissue is way thicker and stronger than half the people I've ever seen. And that's why you didn't break a bone." I have had a couple of bones broken, but I've had more wrecks where I didn't break bones, and each time I was told it was just because of my physical structure being so strong. Does being raised on a farm, eating raw dairy, eating raw meat, as I did as a child, have anything to do with that? Like, I grew up having warm milk directly from the cow. Heavy cream, no pasteurization, no homogenization, just milk her and then drink it. And it's kind of brought me this whole like series of experimentations in human performance and learning about humans, what it is to be human, and then just seeing how it's brought me full circle back to how I was raised is really interesting. I almost feel sheepishly dumb, to be exact. But yeah, coming back to that, I do like raw meat, and what I found I really enjoy is raw beef fat. It's so delicious, and it has like an undescribable flavor and texture, and there's just something like in my senses where I react to it like candy, in the way that it just feels like super yummy and a treat, and I get this, like I just want more, you know? So this has been really interesting. I've loved having this high quality meat. I still cook meat. I still actually enjoy other cooked meats. I think that rotating in raw stuff is good. I think it gives you a different nutrient profile, and I can tell you through my experimentation that my best lifting that I've experienced yet is when I have raw meat in my diet, whether it's sashimi or tartare or carpaccio, any of that. I'm just get really strong. Today was my third workout in a row, which is something I could never handle plant-based, and I'm good. I'm not sore from yesterday's workout. My inflammation's gone way down, just around workouts, and I've been getting closer and closer to zero carb, which is something I kind of at one point said, well, like, I don't really want to do that, or I don't want to go to such pendulum swings to the extreme. But it's just kind of been a natural progression, and I feel better and better as I'm adapted to it, and I just don't crave sweets, breads, fruits, or even really vegetables that much. Sometimes I crave like fermented vegetables, and I'll have those when that craving arises. But yeah, I'm definitely in a very hyper-carnivore phase, and there is a reason why so many people make sense. Like, it makes absolute sense on an evolutionary scale. And I know there's quite a few people out there recently I've heard in videos who are like, evolution's for morons. I might get into that in another topic, but we'll just say the history of humans. It makes perfect sense. And the only way you're ever going to know is if you try it yourself. And to end this, the one thing that I would say is that I did go through like what people are telling me, and I don't know what it is, but like a candida die-off. So I was super high carb for a really long time, and I'm pretty sure that my candida load went way up to help me deal with all of the fruit, all the dates, bananas, carbs, rice, noodles, all of it. And as I got down on not quite no carbs, like I drink kombucha, which has a few grams of carbs. I might have every now and then like some Scandinavian rye tack, so it's gluten-free, like hard rye crackers. There's a little bit of carbs in that. I will still have a piece of fruit here and there, not much, maybe once or twice a week. So I would say like 95% carb-free. But I went through a period of candida die-off. And I had this like white coat on my tongue. I got really itchy. I had like some skin breakouts. And I like didn't feel very great for a day. I was having like weird cravings, and then it went away. And it was fine. And so I don't know about that. I don't know, but I've heard that it happens to people that go zero carb because the candida has nothing to feed on, and that it can sort of live off of ketones a little bit, but then ultimately the population of candida can't be sustained, so some faction of it dies off. And I'm not really trying to get rid of the candida. I think if you populate candida, it's because we have a microbiome in our bodies. I think it's overgrowth is a possibility, and I think that when you change diets, those populations of microbes are going to change, and that can cause some reactions that you're going to notice. So that's it, and then I will just totally wrap up this video, one clip, one shot, no editing, except for I'll throw in some photos of the beef pie, with just saying like I'll just say it, I'm enjoying watching all of the people come out of the woodwork and talking about their absolute shit show on veganism. It heartens me to see people become brave, and it heartens me to see people speak their truth and to recover and to regain their health and to thrive, and for the vegan rhetoric to drown, to absolutely drown. It needs to go away. And, you know, if you want to do it for ethics, you want to do it for the animals, fine. But let's not call it a health choice. I think that there's maybe a 0.02% of the population that for some rare reason, like have a food allergen, might do better on a plant-based diet. But I think it's a very, 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 very minuscule part of the population. It's been a good experiment for myself, and I think for the human race, but I have no problems in saying that there is no way that humans are not meat eaters. I highly recommend trying to find a small farmer and buying farmer direct. Support the farmer, support ecosystem farming, and get a good quality product that's going to best support your health. If you have any questions and you're local, I will put DM me on Instagram, and I will let you know who the farmers are. I'm not going to put the farmers up here on YouTube so that they can be subjected to the harassment and whims of vegans. Anyhow, hope you're all well. Peace out.